Good evening and welcome to the July 21st, 2025 regular meeting of the Mayor and City Council. First item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to invite Mark Kyle from our Public Works Department to come lead us in the pledge. If everyone could please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Next item on our agenda is reflection, and I'd like to call for a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move into approval of minutes. Tonight we have two sets of minutes before us. The first being from the work session on Monday, June 30th. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the minutes of the work session held on June 30th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that carries 5-0. Next, we have the minutes from the July 7th regular session. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the minutes of the regular session dated July 7th.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0. Now we're going to move into consent, and I'm going to do something a little unusual tonight. I want to take, so we have three items in our consent agenda, A, B, and C. I want to take C out of this, out of consent, and we'll vote on that separately. So for A and B, what is the pleasure of the council? C is the county, the MOU with the county.
Is there a good time to ask a question, or should we move it first?
You're welcome to go ahead and ask a question.
I'm just curious what the plan is to recycle the turf. I see that there is a accommodation for that. I just curious as to what the actual plan is.
So this, just to give a little background, this is on item A, the turf replacement at Lakelands Park. Go ahead, Brian.
So the entire turf is being replaced. There's a requirement in the contract for what's called a chain of custody. It's under Maryland state law. Basically, it tracks the removal and processing of the old material following certain guidelines under state law. So that's a requirement in our contract that they follow that. I don't know where all the different parts end up after that, how it gets processed, but we are following the law.
Okay, and so will we find out where it ends up out of curiosity?
We can.
All right,
Okay.
I think that would be helpful.
We get a report of kind of each step along the way, where it goes, how it's
I
processed.
know we occasionally get questions from members of the public, so it would be good to have answers going forward.
Sure. This
Thank
is
you,
our
Brian.
first turf replacement, so we'll be seeing this for the first time as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
So do you want to move the consent agenda with items A and B?
I will move the consent agenda with items A and B.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that carries 5-0. And with regard to item C, this is the Transportation Impact Tax MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding with the county. And I wanted to say a few words about this just because sometimes negotiations and contracts like this can kind of go unnoticed, and I feel like this is significant enough that I wanted to. I don't expect there's going to be dissent, but this may be the only time that this item comes before us, so I think it's worth bringing to everybody's attention. Way back in 2006, Montgomery County enacted a transportation impact tax. The thinking was that new development has an impact on how everyone gets around. So perhaps it causes more traffic that requires road and intersection improvements, or creates the need for more transit or bike or pedestrian facilities. Anytime a new project is approved, the developer is assessed this transportation impact tax. The way the law was written, it includes projects in the cities of Gaithersburg and Rockville. But since our two cities do our own planning and zoning, we were skeptical at the time about the county's authority to levy such a tax on our projects. And we were concerned that these taxes that came into the county, the tax revenues that came to the county from projects in the city, would be used for transportation projects elsewhere in the county and not work to the benefit of our residents. So back then, in order to get the cities of Gaithersburg and Rockville to go along with this impact tax, the county offered us a deal in the form of a Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU. And the deal was that any impact tax revenue that came in from city projects would be held in a separate account to be used only for projects that both the city and the county agreed on. However, over the last 15 years, the city and county have not been able to agree much on what projects would be eligible. So, and I am vastly simplifying this for speed here, but the money has sat in an account while the two parties have been at the negotiating table. And as of right now, the account has just over $15 million in it. There have been moments along the way when we thought we've had a deal, only to have either the county executive staff or the county council scuttle it or move the goalpost on us at the last minute. In fact, 2 months ago, the council and I may or may not have been prepared to file a suit against the county to finally resolve this issue when our county council member and former mayor, Sidney Katz, intervened and helped to be the liaison between us and the county executive. And here we are tonight at a point that represents the furthest that we've gotten in a long time. We have a negotiated deal. The council will, I expect, authorize the city manager to execute it. And it will go to County Executive Elrich, whom we hope will and expect will sign it, and then to the County Council for ratification. And so that gets me to the reason for bringing all this up, because given the time and effort that's gone into this from our staff, including Tanisha, former Deputy City Manager Dennis Enslinger, former City Manager Tony Tomasello, Frank Johnson, Lynn Board, for members of this council and past councils, and I've put many hours into this, as has our good friend and former Mayor Sidney Katz. Our current county executive Mark Elrich and his predecessor Ike Leggett and their staffs. I just wanted to take the time to acknowledge this moment and offer our sincere gratitude. This is the kind of thing that does not get onto the radar screen of the public, but at the same time, it's an important milestone that will result in the funding of a number of city projects over the years. So I thought it was important to call your attention to it. And with that, I do want to, if anybody wants to add to it, please go ahead, Neil.
Sure. I would also like to thank the Transportation Committee for identifying a number of areas that were in need of improvement and submitting those to Public Works, who have now put in the program most of that work in terms of studying and then eventually actually moving forward with it to improve bicycle and pedestrian safety throughout the city. So I think it's a great step. It's taken a while, longer than I would have expected, but so much goes longer than you expect in government, and it's great to finally get to the point where we can expect everything to move forward within the next couple of years at this point.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'll echo what Neil is saying. And so before I was on the council, I was on the Transportation Committee. And just when Neil was taking on his first year on the council, we were talking about this 10 low-hanging fruit gap analysis for bike and pedestrian connectivity in the city. And a lot of that some of that was contingent on the availability of the funding here and proposing these projects into that budget. It just never got resolved, and some of those projects had to be taken on with city revenue, and so we have advanced it. But this has been a long time coming, and finally, it's good to have agreement and be able to utilize this funding to improve transportation capacity within the city.
Thank you, Rob. Jim, Jamil, and Lisa, if she wants. She didn't raise her hand, but go ahead, Jim.
Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I echo the comments of my colleagues, and I also want to compliment the mayor and my colleagues, because this was a difficult negotiation. And the mayor kind of rushed through this, but the negotiations have literally been going on for over 15 years. You know, the tax was passed over 20 years ago. So I want the public to really recognize the work that went into this, and the fact that everybody on this dais, except Councilmember Henderson recuses herself from this project because it was involving the county, which I also respect the heck out of as well. But understanding that, we had to take some pretty difficult positions to create any kind of leverage to get where we wanted to get on this project. And it just goes to show that the leaders that you have up here, and I'm pleased to call you my colleagues, you were ready to take some risks to make sure that we were getting the value that our residents deserved. So thank you for the courage that it took to kind of draw a line in a place to get us to this point. Because I don't know if, 2 years ago, we would have thought we'd have gotten here. So really, congratulations to everybody that was involved, staff included. This is a big win for the people of Gaithersburg.
Jamil?
Yes to all of that, and to more than $10 million going into shovel-ready projects that are going to be able to be funded fully now and get completed. Really looking forward to that. So kudos.
And you recuse, so this is totally.
I will say thank you, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I will say congratulations to the team. I didn't know how this was gonna turn out. I was very hopeful, and hope availed. So I'm excited about what happened here, and congratulations to you all, to staff, to the mayor and the council for the work that was done here, so.
Well, thank you all, and would someone like to move the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, Tanisha, I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, it's a second, so you can talk.
Yeah.
Tanisha, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I did not want to interrupt the heartfelt speeches, but the item's been pulled from consent, so you can take it up under number 11 on the agenda, or you can proceed now. I
Yeah.
don't think Frank will
You
have
have
any
you have the
video.
you have
Okay,
the right
no,
to
no.
set your agenda as
It's
you
fine.
will.
Yes.
What we're going to do is proceed right now.
Okay.
So, thank you. So, did we have a motion in a second?
We did.
We had a motion in a second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay. Carries 5-0.
And I
Thank you.
abstain.
Oh, carries 4-0 with one abstention. Thank you.
So with all the work that went into it, to get $11.5 million from this fund, how much do we think that is by the hour of all the work?
Don't do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, so let me see where we are. Now we're on we're going to move to appointments, and we have several reappointments on the docket for today. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution confirming the reappointments to these committees. The Gaithersburg Parks, Arts, and Recreation Corporation, a 3-year term for Mike Kakaros. The Multicultural Affair Committee for a 2-year term for Anita Cox. Personnel Review Board, a 3-year term for William Snyder. Reappointments to the Police Advisory Committee for a 2-year term for Charles Stephen Laboué.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0. Is anybody here whose name we just called? Please stand up. Just tell us your name.
I'm Charles Steven Lobwe with the Police Advisory Committee. I did prepare something.
Oh,
small.
come up
Right?
very
That's what I
quickly.
thought too. So good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be reappointed this evening. I want to sincerely thank the city leadership, the chief, and my fellow committee members for their contribution to our committee. Serving this committee isn't just about a responsibility, it's a privilege. As I'm someone who's both a resident and a father, I take this role to heart. Safety isn't about patrol and policies only. It's about the people. It's about trust. It's about knowing your neighbor and being the bridge between law enforcement and the community. Hopefully, in our committee, we'll increase the youth outreach and more neighborhood safety programs and better communication. I'm happy to keep working alongside all of you and making sure that our city not only grows, but thrives safely and inclusively. Long live Gaithersburg.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's-
Let's round of applause.
And
Appreciate-
one last thing, but that will be later. Yeah, take care.
Okay. Well, we will have public comments coming up soon. Okay, so we thank you for serving, and for anybody who happens to be in the audience and interested or watching, serving on a city committee is a great way to get involved and contribute meaningfully to the business of the city, and meet like-minded people and get to know how the operations of the city work. So I highly recommend it. On the city website, there's a page for boards, commissions, and committees, and there's a couple dozen of them, and see what you're interested in and send us a note. Okay, so next on our agenda is public comments, and this is the time the mayor and council would like to hear from anybody who'd like to speak on any city-related topic. We ask that you state your name and address, or if you feel more comfortable, your neighborhood. Keep your comments to no more than 3 minutes. If you have more than 3 minutes worth of material, then use your 3 minutes here and send us the rest in writing. We'll consider it just the same as oral testimony. Do we have anybody here who would like to testify tonight? Come on up.
Good evening, Jeanette Rosenbaum, Chair of the Environmental Affairs Committee at Lake Forest Neighborhood. Question on a somewhat random topic. Crown Farm Park, which looks really cool. Question has arisen among my colleagues, and I could not quickly find the answer on the project page. So I was just wondering if you knew offhand, how much does that park cost? That very cool looking thing that they have designed.
Is that all you got, Jeanette?
That's it.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know. You remember
I
offhand?
don't know it offhand, no.
We'll have to get you that answer.
Okay.
Unless you happen to know it offhand.
Around 1.2 million, but I'll get you an exact.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
For those who couldn't hear that, he said maybe around 1.2 million, but we're going to get Jeanette a more exact answer. Okay, thank you. Charles Stephen,
Yeah.
come on up.
So I'm Charles Steven. I live in downtown Crown, Gettysburg, and recently we noticed that the light pollution from the construction site of this Crown High School is quite bothersome with some of the residents of my community and neighborhood. So we were wondering if there's a way we could have you guys telling them to turn off the lights at nighttime, because not everybody can invest in light blocking curtains. And at night times, they just have the full-blown light. And at times, you actually attract some of the kids of the neighborhoods who like to do some crazy activities and go in there. So there's been actually instances where law enforcement have been called about that. So that's one thing only. And also the second thing is that I saw some rumors on social media about an apartment complex being developed in Rio. And it's a project, and I wanted to say it's a really bad idea. From the feedback that I got from my neighborhood, because we who live in Crown, we're having the school coming up, which means that maybe on Friday evenings we're going to have a bunch of kids coming up from every direction. But then if we have even more people now in Rio, which is already chaotic during the weekends, it will be twice more chaos. And well, that's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Brian, can I call you up real quick? Sorry to put you on the spot. I don't know. This may not be your department. It may be code enforcement that would have some sort of oversight as to the light usage at this construction site.
We have contacts we work with through development at MCPS. We can start with them and report the complaint, and then they can forward it to folks at the site who, I'm not sure what the issue is exactly. I'll check it out tonight after the meeting, but we definitely have contacts we can refer the issue to and request action.
Okay.
Sure.
Feel free to follow up with me or any one of us up here as that progresses. And our emails are all on the city website. And in
Mayor-
terms of the
Mayor Ashman, if I could just add
Please.
that
Yeah.
the school projects, unlike a lot of other projects that occur in the city, school projects don't fall under the city's authority. But that doesn't mean that we can't try to use our channels of influence. So I just want to be clear with the public that they don't fall under our permitting authority. Also, they do have extended hours that they've authorized for themselves for that project, which
Yeah.
we did communicate to the neighborhood, but
Yeah.
it sounds like more communication is needed.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Yeah, they are trying to meet a tight deadline on that high school. And then thanks for the input on the application at Rio. That has not come to us for public hearing yet. So keep an eye, and we're about to go on recess through August. So we don't happen to have a date on a public hearing for that, right? All we know is an application's been filed. It could be months before it actually gets to us, but we appreciate the input and keep an eye on it because we will have a public hearing and there will be an open record on that. Do we have anybody else who'd like to testify? Come on up.
So my name is Ken Ayers. I actually live in Rockville, but I talked to the Montgomery County Council about this issue, and they said talk to Gaithersburg. So I wanted to talk to you guys. I'm here to voice my opposition to the Montgomery County Ag Fair hosting rodeos and pig racing at the fair. Both of these events are abusive. The animals are forced to participate. Bulls are prodded, poked, aggravated to buck as violently as possible. Terrified calves are chased down and tied up by so-called men. Sheep are ridden around by kids, dangerous to the sheep and the kids. With pig racing, pigs have extreme fear and stress in loud environments where there's loudspeakers, crowds yelling. Not to mention it's going to be 90 plus degrees maybe when this fair happens in August. And back in, I think it was 2020, I'm not sure exactly, but several years ago, you guys passed a law protecting exotic animals from being displayed at the fair. My opinion is farm animals should be protected as well. And what I would like to see is a citywide ban on rodeos and pig racing, as well as protection for all farm animals throughout Gaithersburg and at the fair. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Anybody else care to testify this evening? Let me check on Teams. If anybody's on Teams and would like to testify, just use the raise hand function and I will call on you. Not seeing any hands go up. Okay. All right. Well, we thank you all for being with us and appreciate all the testimonies and feedback. Okay. Now we're going to go to from the mayor and city council, and I think Jamil is going to be the first one.
Sure, Mr. Mayor. I have a statement. After a closed executive session, a closed meeting was held in person by the mayor and city council on Thursday, July 10th, 2025, at approximately 7:22 p.m. pursuant to a motion adopted unanimously. The session was proposed to be closed pursuant to the general provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, Section 3-305B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice, and 3-305B8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. The topic discussed was the agreement between the city and Montgomery County regarding the county transportation development tax. Present at the meeting were Mayor Ashman, council members Harris, Hernandez, McNulty, and Wu. Staff present were City Manager Briley and Director of Public Works Fields. Also present were Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrick, Montgomery County Councilmember Sidney A. Katz, and Director of Montgomery County Department of Transportation Christopher Conklin. Upon conclusion of the discussion, the closed executive session was adjourned at approximately 8:08 p.m. That's all I have.
I'll just make one amendment to that Frank Johnson was present at that meeting too.
Sorry, it wasn't in the...
No, it wasn't in there. So would you accept that as a friendly amendment?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Well, actually, that wasn't a motion. That was just an announcement. So we don't need amendments.
friendly-
Doesn't have to be.
And Frank Johnson was present as well.
Well done. Okay. Do you have anything else, Jamil?
That's it.
Okay, we'll go to Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been a busy week, busy weekend. I want to thank Samira Hussein from our Multicultural Affairs Committee for inviting me to the Meet Your Muslim Neighbor event at the Islamic Center of Maryland in Greater Gaithersburg. It was a fun event. There was great food. There were displays around the auditorium teaching you all about different aspects of the Muslim faith. There were kids that had this interactive Kahoot that was teaching you about the life of the Prophet Muhammad. It was a great experience, and I've driven past that building so many times and had never had the opportunity to attend anything there. So really appreciate their hospitality. I got to meet the imam. So it was a very nice event, and appreciate the opportunity to be there. Friday morning, I was able to attend the Battle of the Boats over at the water park at Borough Park. And if you've never been, it's a lot of fun. We have campers from 3 different summer camps in the area. They have to build their own boat that they have to ride. They have to row back and forth across the pool. It's made up of water bottles and duct tape, and they have to decorate it, and a lot of cheering and music. It was a lot of fun. So I got to join some of my colleagues on the city staff, and it was a lot of fun. So thank you for having me there, and congratulations to everybody that participated. It was a great event. I also want to congratulate friend of the family and Gaithersburg High School class of 2022, Anna Wilson, on her surprise AGT audition.
I saw that clip. That was
She
amazing.
did incredible. So Anna is the daughter of a friend of our family. Her brother and my son went to daycare together. So we've known them a very long time, watched Anna grow up, and they literally surprised her. She had no idea. And her mom was funny. She's like, I hate seeing myself on camera, but it was so worth it. So she advances to the next round. So there is the judges will decide who goes later in the summer. So there's a very, hopefully, good chance that she'll have an opportunity to get some practice and represent Gaithersburg. I was at the watch party at Vine Alley, and when she said that she was from Gaithersburg, Maryland, the entire bar erupted in cheer, so among other times. So it was just a lot of fun, and I know all of us here in the DMV are rooting for her, and we wish her well. And before I say have a great summer, I do want to honor my cousin who passed away suddenly this week. His name was Ian Baker. He's actually my mom's cousin's son, so we kind of grew up together. He was only 37 years old, much younger. He was a baby when we were in high school, but his big sisters and I were very tight when I was growing up. So we're going to be going up to Philly for the funeral. So I just want to send all my best wishes to Richard and Tracy and Megan and Monica and the entire Baker family. He will be sorely, sorely missed, and my heart is with you all.
Thank you, Jim. Ours too.
Thank you.
Lisa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an announcement to read. 2025 election information. Gaithersburg residents will cast their ballots for mayor and 2 council members on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Candidate packets are available and may be picked up at City Hall by appointment only or requested electronically by contacting City Clerk Leah Jones at cityelections@gaithersburgmd.gov. The candidate filing deadline is Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at 5 p.m. The last mandatory candidate training session will be held virtually on Tuesday, August 5th. Candidates must attend one session and registration is required. To register, contact the city clerk at 240-805-1084. For complete election information, please visit www.gaithersburgmd.gov/elections.
That's it? Okay. Thank you. Neil.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll keep it brief. As usual, I attended the monthly meeting of the Transportation Planning Board for the Metropolitan Washington area. We had an extensive discussion and briefing regarding the VDOT's plans to extend the toll lane network across the Wilson Bridge, which is the one on the Prince George's side of the state. and into Prince George's County. A number of people testified both in favor of and opposing the project. I posted on Facebook a link to the environmental air quality analysis, which seemed to indicate that it was well within federal guidelines. I also had to substitute a little bit for the chairman of the TPB, serving as vice chair personally this year. James Walkinshaw is a very busy guy because he's up for a special election to replace Congressman Connolly in the Congress after his unfortunate passing this year. So I wanted to take this moment to wish my colleague, Mr. Walkinshaw, the very best, and hoping for great things, however things go for him in the future. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. We'll go to Rob.
Thanks, Mayor. Just wanted to, and this is because Councilmember Hernandez always talks about how much he enjoys the intellectual debates that go on here. That probably one of the most detailed debates that we had with many stakeholders was what Mr. Ayers had come and testified about. I think it was about 18 or 19. You had a lot of competing interests, such as the 4-H.
That's right.
At the time, it was the Humane Society of the U.S., which is now Humane World for Animals, was headquartered in the city.
Yep.
So that there were a lot of different stakeholder interests. I think at the time, recognizing the heritage of our agricultural here in Montgomery County and the importance of the Ag Fair, I think all of us centered on making sure that there was the humane treatment of animals. And so in that case, we banned the exotic animals demonstrations in the city. I remember there was a presenter from Tampa, Florida, I believe it was, who trained bears. And she came up to testify how nice she was to her bears. That sticks in my mind. I would like, so I don't know where I'd land on this request from Mr. Ayers, but I would like a report, if possible, on Ag Fair activities, particularly if there is harm to animals going on. Like rodeos, you hear about animals that break their legs. You hear about, unfortunately, I don't think I've heard about this going on here. Some animals die in rodeos as an intentional matter of the exhibition. That would cause me concern. And so, not to open a Pandora's box on a policy debate, but I would like some more information about what the activities are that are being put under scrutiny here. It was a wonderful debate.
I remember the discussion.
Is that all you got, Rob?
That's all I got.
Okay. I think it would be helpful if the city's gotten any reports of any animal mistreatment or any sort of feedback about what's gone on over there.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. I will echo everyone's comments and thank them for it. And I want to congratulate staff on a wonderful Sports Fest event on July 12th. Which I went and spent about an hour over there. I got there a little too late to run the 3K, which
Likely story.
I would have liked to have done because I'm trying to train for the Kentlands Lakelands 5K, and I need all the training I can get. But they did a great job. There was a lot of happy kids, a lot of different sports represented. It was really good. So I will give a notice to the general public that we will not have. This is our last meeting until September. We will not have a work session on July 28th. And August, the month of August was the scheduled summer recess. So the next regular meeting of the Mayor and Council will be on Tuesday, September 2nd at 7:30 p.m. And you can participate here in person or on Teams. And I will repeat this at the end, but we wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful, happy summer. And next we have from the city manager.
Nothing this evening, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have an economic development update?
There's, Tom texted, he has no report, and he's learning a lot.
Okay, good.
And he's watching us, apparently.
Okay. You know that he's learning a lot. That's a report.
Intensively.
That's correct.
Okay, well then we're going to move to ordinances, resolutions, and regulations. Mark Kyle from Public Works is going to come lead us in a discussion about professional services contract for the design of West Deer Park Road to Industrial Drive Shared Use Path.
Thank you, Mayor.
By the way, I really like that shirt.
So,
That's a nice Gettysburg shirt.
Yeah, that is cool.
Special order. Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Mark Kyle with City of Gaithersburg Public Works. I'm Project Engineer 3. Tonight, before you is an item that's consisting of a resolution authorizing the city manager to negotiate and enter into a professional services contract for the design of the West Deer Park to Industrial Drive Shared Use Path project. This particular project, I've spent a tremendous amount of time on. I'm very excited about it, and I'm here to share more information about that. The Shared Use Path project supports the city's strategic plan objective to support viable transportation options. This path will improve connectivity of people to services, activities, employment, and points of interest. One of the early project goals of this project was the connection across I-370 on Industrial Drive. This is one of very few opportunities to cross I-370. This is a very valuable asset that's underutilized. The proposed 10-foot wide path would originate at West Deer Park Road and Summit Hall Road, then continue along Summit Hall Road to the existing Morris Park access path through city-owned land to Industrial Drive. The path will be a combination of on-grade, which is on the ground, or at an elevated path due to topographic and environmental factors. One of the initial tasks under this contract will perform a thorough topographic survey and wetlands delineation. The approximate length of this path is 0.4 miles long. In 2019, just to give you a little bit of background, staff submitted for a Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments grant, also known as a TLC grant, Transportation Land Use Connection Grant, to study the feasibility of a shared use path and develop a conceptual design. As part of this conceptual design, there were multiple alternatives, with ultimately one recommended from our consultant. The study was completed in 2021. During the feasibility study, staff sent a survey out to the local community, which indicated that there was strong support for the path and general proposed alignment shown on the plan before you. In 2023, staff submitted a Maryland Department of Transportation Alternatives Program grant application to fund the design phase of the project, building on what success we've gotten from the original TLC grant. The city was awarded a $400,000 grant, with the city matching $100,000 for a total of $500,000. The city advertised RFP 2025-020 on February 4, 2025. A total of 6 responses were received by the due date. The city selection committee evaluated and scored the submitted proposals, interviewed the highest scoring offers, and recommended the selection of Mercado Consultants, Inc. as the most qualified firm. On May 8, 2025, MDOT approved the city recommendation to advance negotiations with Mercado Consultants, Inc., and the city subsequently negotiated a scope and fee for the services. The contract will have a not-to-exceed amount of $500,000, consistent with the available funding through the TAP grant and the city match. Just to give you a little bit of background on Mercado Consultants, Inc., they're based out of Ashton, Maryland, just up the street, not too far from City of Gaithersburg. They are in the county. And MDOT has put a requirement of a 14% disadvantaged business enterprise on the project. Mercado Consultants, Inc. has surpassed the 14% requirement and exceeded that by many percent at this point. And they promise that they will be probably in the 18 to 20% range. The consultant is excited about the project, and we are looking forward to working with them on the path design. The design will start in fiscal year '26 with the ultimately 23-month schedule duration for the design. I would be happy to answer any questions related to this. We're very lucky to have won multiple grants on this, and we look forward to completing the design.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I think we'll start over here. Jamil.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, the briefing. I think I'll echo some comments that I've said previously, just a personal philosophy or preference. I think Brian knows what I'm going to say. In terms of whenever you have an opportunity to evaluate new materials or more ecologically friendly designs that isn't just asphalt, where there's pervious materials or more creative stormwater management sort of designs, I hope we can lean into that and over time get away from just the traditional pervious construction, pervious approaches.
Thank you.
Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm excited about this project. Anytime there's an opportunity to connect the city across one of the major highways is a win. And particularly, this area of the city, which is kind of isolated, tucked up against the two highways. So to be able to expand access for them to, other parts and get down towards the Home Depot and the Amazon Fresh that's over there now. That's definitely a win. I remember when I first realized, I had gone under that overpass for years and never knowing exactly what it was, and finally, I'm just going to go figure out what's back there. This is long before I was on the council, but it is an opportunity to extend that connectivity for pedestrians, for cyclists, micro-mobility, all of those things. I did want to ask, are there going to be any improvements on Industrial Drive itself as far as, right now it's pretty much a road and a very narrow sidewalk?
Yeah, so one of the feasibility items was to utilize the existing roadway, and it's very wide. And one of the things that was proposed to us during the feasibility was to utilize a little bit more of that space and use striping to the fullest extent possible. I think our consultant coming up has a lot of great ideas. I want them to explore those ideas, and then we want to bring that to you in the future. So we think this is a great opportunity. At one point, Montgomery County was looking at extending their master plan up from Shady Grove Road up Gaither Road, and this was a great opportunity with Industrial Drive. So this kind of played on Montgomery County's master plan, and we hope that this continues, hopefully building upon that.
Which master plan? Is that the bike master plan?
Bike master plan, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Neil, do you have another question?
I do. What are we looking at on the screen? What are the different colors?
So we start at West Deer Park Road, and the red line that goes down Summit Hall Road, the intent is to do some widening of that existing sidewalk of some sort. We want to touch that. There are some utilities along this stretch that need to be evaluated. I've been through a lengthy process with WSSC and want to not spend any effort with some of those improvements, but ultimately goes around utilizing Summit Hall Road continues into Morris Park there. The yellow line is an existing access path that exists today. And previously, one of the alternatives that we had sought was trying to make a connection to the private property, but that was there was a whole bunch of obstacles and not a lot of support from the public on that. The red continues from the yellow line through city property. It's wooded. There's a lot of terrain out there. There's wetlands from our evaluation, but I think the biggest challenge for us right now is the topographic elevation, which the consultants have promised that They have great solutions for that, and ultimately connects on Industrial Drive there. So
Okay, thanks. That's kind of what I thought that we were looking at, but I wanted to make sure that it was clear. So this is probably out of the areas where connectivity was necessary in the city that we identified years ago. This was the most challenging one.
yes,
I was concerned that the only way to cross 270 would be to dig a tunnel, and I think that was a little pricey for this kind of project. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of this. I'm not sure where in the city this would fall, but these connectivity projects, one of the goals initially many years ago was to qualify Gaithersburg as a bicycle-friendly city. Without a more complete network of connectivity, we couldn't really make that application, but hopefully somewhere in the staff, we can start moving forward on that process as we get this and other similar projects going and build that fully connected map of Gaithersburg the way Rockville and some other cities have. I think that would be a very important milestone for the city going forward. So I don't know if that's you, Mark, or someone else, but
I think the application process, I think we're on our way. I think we have some time before we get there.
Sure.
And I think staffing levels, we need to talk and getting some support potentially depending on what's needed. But I think there is always opportunity to expand our network, and I think we're on our way for next steps.
all right, that would be great. Thank you very much for the presentation, for all the good work on this.
Thank you.
Rob Blue?
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for the presentation. I like your shirt too. If it was part of the ordering catalog, I would order them, but I don't think I saw that as one of our options.
I know some people, they couldn't afford that out.
I'm a short sleeve shirt on under here. Don't tell the mayor. So this is an interesting area. So when I was on the transportation committee before joining the council, actually Neil, myself, and a few folks on the transportation committee, I think Kathy Drazizgalo was there too. We took a tour into the backwooded area there to look at connectivity. And I think at that time, there's actually is a tunnel. There's a drain pipe that goes under 370.
It leads to the Bat Cave, I think.
Yeah, and I suggested to everyone, why don't we just build a path through there, and got laughed at. So anyway,
It's about 4 feet tall. I
Yes.
don't think you'd want to ride a bike through that.
So connectivity, good. This is one of the areas that we focused on, hence that tour at the time. I would ask, as we're moving forward with the project, impacts to parking on Summit Hall Road. It looks like there is parking that side. I would like to try to preserve parking if we can, because this area is all very challenging. As you mentioned, the path design, which I'm taking to be the red line, does go through wetlands, as well as wooded areas. And so my hope would be that we can build a useful path that is harmonious with the environment, meaning, as Councilmember Hernandez mentioned, innovative use of material. It sounds like it's going to be a hard path. If it is pervious surface, I don't know if we're also looking at having a natural path as well. I know that's harder for bikes that don't have the right tires on them, for example. I would expect that we're building around older growth trees and not through them, as we have in certain other projects in the city. But ultimately, I think if this is done right, it'll add to connectivity. Also security. If we're going to have a lot of residents crossing there and through a wooded area, I would hope we're thinking about the potential for making sure our residents are safe as they're transversing that area.
Yes.
Traversing.
Traversing that area. So, but otherwise, I think this has the potential to be a great project.
Thank you.
All right. Jim?
Mr. Mayor, can I just pull on that thread a little longer, because, I was thinking about that right before Rob mentioned that, the security aspect and whether it's lighting, whether it's cameras, because one of the things that had been said about the Old Town path that is still in the planning stage was that we had abandoned early any ideas of going along the train tracks because of concerns about safety. And here we would see an isolated area that could have a similar concern. So I just want to make sure that, we're using the same approach in both places, because that could be worrisome.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that is included into the design, and it's something that we'll discuss with our consultants and embed that into the design as well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is design and surveying and engineering. That's what this contract
It's
is.
surveying and engineering. This gets us to final design.
And then we'll come back before us again for the construction
For the
contract?
construction, ultimately, if there's intermediate touch points, be glad to do that as well. But this would get us to finished design, and ultimately allows us to get all the information needed to do that.
Great. So we will have a chance to
Yeah.
see the finished product. Go ahead.
I just want to be clear, do you want to see it before we bring a construction contract back to you? Is that what you were saying?
Either before or concurrent with it.
Okay.
Is that good guidance, Tanisha? Okay.
We could do a charrette.
I
That's
think we
fun.
might be beyond charrette
Yeah.
phase.
Okay. This is a resolution. Would someone like to move the resolution?
moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate it. Next is from the city attorney. Do we have anything from you, Frank?
Well, I have received from you, Mr. Mayor, and several others as well, including Delegate Spiegel, a copy of the Maryland Attorney General's recent report on immigration enforcement, and that's in light of passage after this session of House Bill 1222 and increased ICE enforcement that is going on. I will say, having gone through it, the guidance and the law are generally consistent with prior guidance and with city resolutions outlining our non-involvement in what is really a federal enforcement effort, that is immigration enforcement. The city doesn't wish to undertake any federal or immigration enforcement. That's really what the state law and the guidance outlines. We do not at the same time interfere with legitimate federal enforcement efforts, such as entering a more sensitive area or a closed-off area. If they have a signed warrant from a federal judge, we'll certainly honor that. But otherwise, protect sensitive areas, protect areas that are closed off, and also protect sensitive and confidential information as well. So all consistent with the way we operate at this point. I just wanted to let everybody know that.
Thank you very much. Anything from any other staff? Not seeing anything. Okay. Well, I will remind you, we're going to have the next month plus off. So the next regular session of the Mayor and Council will be on Tuesday, September 2nd. In between now and then, we will have National Night Out at several different neighborhoods throughout the city. Hope to see you there. We will have the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair, and then Labor Day Parade, the Kentlands Lakelands 5K. So
we're not exactly getting the month off here.
yeah, just our Monday nights will be a little clearer. But we hope you guys have a great summer, and in the meantime, let's do great things, Gaithersburg. We are adjourned.